Hey guys, what's going on? Listen, it's closing on to 2 weeks since the earthquake, the devastating earthquake that took place in Syria and Turkey, that has killed so far close to 50,000 or 40,000 people, and the number is very, very close to reaching 50,000 people. 50,000 people, of which more than 10,000 people inside Syria and about close to 40,000 inside Turkey. Now, these areas that are devastated by the horrendous earthquake that shattered Turkey completely and devastated numerous cities, I'd like to really echo a few of the voices that has been reaching out to me to speak out and to underline and raise awareness on what they are really going through inside Turkey, or in these particularly these devastated areas, especially Antakya, Kahraman, Marash, and all these areas that has been hit pretty bad, where thousands of families that have suffered from this horrendous earthquake. I'd like to really draw your attention to one thing important, that in these particular areas there are close to 1 million Syrian refugees living in these areas, in these cities. They have businesses, they have homes, they have uh, been displaced over and over and over, and until they have reached a point where they have settled in these cities, Antakya, Marash, Kahraman, and these northern parts of Turkey. These people have lost pretty much everything. If not mentioning the loss of life of these dear people, I'd like to take advantage of this video and pay a tribute to my dear friends who've lost their loved ones. Numerous of very, very dear friends of mine who've lost their families, sisters, and relatives, and that loss is a very big loss for me as well. It's very saddening to my heart. It actually bleeds my heart out to hear their stories, and for them to talk to me and ask me and to really speak out on their behalf and talk to the world and in to those who are listening. I don't know if there's anyone listening, if anyone really care about what's going on in Syria, but I am still boiling inside me with the devastation that these people are living. This is unreal situation, unprecedented for the Syrians. It's yet another way for them to die, another way for them to yet again find themselves looking for a goddamn tent and a blanket and a shelter on top of their heads in these very harsh, cold, freezing circumstances. These people want me to talk about one thing, which is the discrimination they are facing on the ground in these parts of Turkey. Unfortunately, some very, very ignorant, narrow-minded people, locals from these cities, are treating Syrians pretty bad. They are forcing certain people out of their homes where it has been their shelter for years. It's a displacement homes that they have settled in, especially, for example, in Mersin. There is a university housing system or compounds where there's hundreds of Syrian families been living there for the past couple years, or years actually, where in three days ago they were asked to evacuate and leave these compounds, and they were not given any time to pack or anything. They were given a couple hours just to take the most important belongings and leave these compounds. And when they did actually left and they winded up in the streets, Turkish families were asked to move in to resettle these families, or those Turkish locals inside these initially been housed by Syrians. Situations like these are unaccepted. The pain is one regardless of where you are from. And some stories are actually echoing all the way up here to me and to my ear, which is very, very goddamn disturbing. Some Turkish people, which are, I again want to underline that these are very minor percentage of the great amount of Turkish people who are extremely generous and very welcoming to Syrians. But those narrow-minded racist people in Turkey who are saying that this earthquake is because of God and Syrians. Now they are blaming us Syrians for the goddamn earthquake and this horrendous catastrophic situation that they are living in, or they had to go through right now. This has to stop. This has to stop. I mean, the loss of lives concerning both sides, it's immense, and it's overbearing for us to really, both of us, deal with. We are the weak side. We have no one to help, no one to get help from. The world is completely abandoned Syrian people, and not just today and the last couple of weeks. Yes, not just the last couple of weeks. Over the past 12 years, we've been abandoned. And these people have to find themselves again and again asking the world for a goddamn tent, for their basic needs. This is unfair. This is unfair. Turkey has been offered help, and they received help from over 70, close to 100 countries from all over the world. And soon billions will flock in to help rebuild the country. Syrians, what have they got? What have they got? Nothing. Nothing. Just a few lousy United Nations trucks managed to get through the borders and reach the Syrians. Yet the poor Syrians from Deir ez-Zor, they've sent over close to 100 trucks sent by poor Syrians in Deir ez-Zor from the east side of Syria all the way to the west, north, and sides of Syria, supporting their brothers and sisters. This is the thing that we really are so proud of, that we Syrians are helping only each other. No one in the world is helping Syrians. So stop the goddamn discriminations. Stop separating Syrians from the non-Syrians. Some Syrian I heard, who was stuck under the roof of his house. He couldn't speak a word in Turkish, and he heard the voices calling, is there anyone alive? And these calls were made out in Turkish. This guy was so afraid, he couldn't speak a word of Turkish. He was so afraid to speak Arabic because he will be left alone. He was afraid to be left alone. Imagine that. He was so scared to speak Arabic because he knew that he will not be given any help. This is a story I heard from the ground in Antakya. And many Syrians, these Syrians who live in a certain area, these areas were left last to be gone and dug in. If a building that is housing Syrians, it's not really reached first. They go to the areas where other people fell victims to it. Well, there was another also topic I'd like to really shed light on, is Assad has been the major reason for destroying and killing hundreds of thousands of Syrians over the past 12 years. And he is the main direct reason, along with his goddamn Russian war criminals and the Iranian war criminals, in destroying more than 70% of the Syrian infrastructure. This earthquake came in favor for Assad to destroy whatever left of Syria and kill whatever he couldn't kill himself. And he didn't have to pay nothing. It didn't cost him nothing to kill the rest of those people. Thousands of people fell victims to this earthquake. Assad felt like he's been served the goddamn favor. Now the world wants to reward this war criminal by sending the aid to him, of which he publicly announced that he wants 70% of this aid. And the millions and the hundreds of millions that's going to go to Syria in order to help Syrians, it's going to go directly to his pocket. So for those who are listening to those international communities and the international NGOs crying out, let's help Syrians, let's help Syria, blah, blah, blah. Don't believe them, because the money is not going to go to those victims. The money is going to go to the Assad regime, and he is going to use this money to float his regime and reload his gun and reload his killing machine to kill more Syrians. So do not listen to those who are calling out, let's help Syrians, donate to us. The money's not going to go there. I'm telling you. You rest assured it's not going to go there. And if it's going to go, it's going to the Assad regime, and Assad regime is not going to give it. And these areas are not heavily affected. The Assad-controlled areas. The heavily affected areas is Jinderis. It's the northeast of west of Syria, where already people has felt displacement or lived displacement for at least 5-10 times. And their pain is just continuing. And we are closing in to the Syrian revolution year number 13. In March 15, we mark the 13th anniversary for our Syrian revolution. Final word, free Syria. Listen to your heart. Find out those NGOs that are operating inside Syria, directly to inside Syria. The White Helmets, Mulham, and tons of others. Inara. Find inara.org. They're operating inside Syria and they're doing a great job. And there are many. If you guys want to know who, text me. I'll send you the links. All right, keep those 2 points in mind. Share as much as you can these awarenesses. Let's raise awareness on what exactly going on inside Syria. All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.